You know how last video I mentioned wanting to make updated keychains for my favorite silly billies that brainrot me terribly? Yeah, I totally knew what I wanted to do going into that. Hello, for those unfamiliar, I am referring to my favorite silly billies, Gasher and Marmalade. I did make a video in depth kind of explaining who they are, not their lore though. So if you want to see that, it will be in the card along with probably being recommended at the end of the video. So yeah, it's also on my channel, so you can check it out whenever. But basically, I introduced my sillies and I did do a poll to see what other people thought, and majority honestly liked them both. Which, same, I love them so much, they brainrot me so terribly. And since I already kinda knew I wanted to do keychains of them anyway, I need to lock the frick in, because I'm not used to making keychains. How the heck am I going to make keychains? Basically, I never really made merch before. I'm a relatively new artist on the art sphere in the art communities and such, so I've never had to make merch before. The only real merch, in air quotes, that I've made for myself was a keychain for my birthday, and it includes Gasher and Marmalade's old designs, so now I feel obligated to make updated ones. My poor pockets. In all seriousness though, I wanted to make something that would at least be pleasing enough to look at, and also just make me giggle anytime I stare at them, because that happened a lot when I was staring at my old version of them, but now I kinda don't have that anymore since I updated their designs. Skill issue on my part for real. I knew I didn't want to have them just basic NPC standing pose, because like, that's boring, and I wanted to have them, having some sort of personality to them and pizzazz, because it's boring when they just kind of stand there. At least in my opinion. Some can look really good, but I just feel like, for me personally, if I'm going to make keychains of my sillies, I need to have it be at least somewhat visually stimulating, and oh my gosh, that was difficult. I feel like for the most part, I'm just not used to making standalone art pieces. Cause, like, in most cases, when I do finished art, especially of these two, they're either interacting with each other or doing something. So I had to figure something out. And even if I'm not doing finished drawings of them, I still do not have them just standing there half the time. Having to make a interesting pose for them was pretty difficult, and Lord have mercy. Of course, living up to his problem child label, Gasher was the problem. I feel like for both keychains that have him in it, I had an issue, but specifically the standalone one, because I wanted to make one of them by themselves and one with them together, and for some reason coming up with the one with Gasher by himself was a problem. I think it more so stems from me just not being very great at drawing, guys. Look, I'm a girl and I know what girls do most of the time. I can dress them very nicely and I can make them pose really cutely. With guys though, it's a little harder. I'm still learning though, so it's fine. So, figuring out what to do with Gasher was a bit of an issue. One, because he's definitely more closed off compared to Marmalade. I wouldn't say stoic for sure, but I don't have any other word to explain it. But he's definitely the more calm one out of the two. So having something that shows off his personality without it being boring was kind of hard. And I didn't want to just have him NPC standing, but he kind of is in the end, but like it's not that bad, I don't think. It's interesting enough. And since I knew if I were going to do solo keychains for them, I'd want the two to at least be matching in some way. It made it harder, but I think I figured it out in the end. I don't know. I end up tweaking things even after finishing the final art because I noticed some discrepancies between him and Marmar's. So, yeah. He truly is my problem child, but I love him dearly. For Marmar, oh my goodness, she was much easier. Granted, because one, she's a girl, and I'm a girl, so... And two, she's just more expressive of the two, to be honest. She's full of energy, and, like, I know her job. So, like, coming up with something was honestly much easier. I knew from the get-go I wanted them to match anyway, so I didn't want hers to be too outlandish, but, you know, it still was relatively easy to make, because, like, she's a farmer slash gardener. I still haven't made up my mind. And, I don't know, she looks cute. She's easy to draw, so that's a win in my book, I guess. I did debate on the lighting for hers, to be honest. Honestly, for both, but specifically Marmar's, because I didn't want her skin tone to be washed out, because she is not supposed to be super light anyway, so I have to be really mindful of how I use my lighting when it comes to her skin tone, but like I feel like it did fine. I don't know. But another funny thing that happened was me doing hers first because I was so confident. To be honest, Marmar is just the easiest out of the two. I don't know, man. When it came to the duo part though, it wasn't as difficult as doing Gasher standalone, but it still was harder than doing Marmar standalone because, you see, for theirs, A, they were by themselves, and B, they were chipified to a degree, so it was a little bit easier to figure out. But with the duo one, I had to have them interacting because, like, come on, I can't not have them interacting, to be honest. It just works better when they are. So I came up with a few concepts, and honestly, the one I ended up going with was my favorite concept sketch anyway, and he does actually fit them pretty well. Honestly, I think I like this one the most because one, it really reminds me of the original keychain design I made for them, so it's cute. And two, it does show off their dynamic in a way. To be honest, Gasher would definitely be the more flustered and embarrassed one out of the two when it comes to showing off affection, especially in public. So I think it's just kind of cute, to be honest. I don't know, Marmar is just more lovey-dovey, showing it out in the open compared to Gasher, where he's not used to it and finds it very embarrassing. But I think it's cute, so fight me. To be honest though, it was really fun to draw up until the shading and lighting. Oh my goodness. Look, so I already have the issue where whenever I specifically shade and do lighting for these two, that something happens where my brain just kind of turns off and forgets where the light source is. But also, because Gasher's color palette is so dark compared to Marmalade's, I have to do their lighting differently because Marmalade would look really bright and then Gasher wouldn't really look the same. Like, it just makes me have to do more work and more mental gymnastics to figure out how the frick to get it to work to where it looks like the same lighting on both of them. And I think that's just because that's what happens when you have two characters with two totally different values. But you know, I thought it looked cute, so fighting myself on this one, I guess. It wasn't too bad of an issue. It's just, it took a lot of extra work that I was not intending to do, but I think in the end it looks fine. I don't know, I still like it anyway. Also, I made myself suffer more by doing colored line art for some reason, but we don't talk about that part. But in the end, since I finished drawing it, I wanted to see a mock-up version. I end up setting that up, and I honestly think it looks cute. I like them all, but what do you think? Aside from that, I actually am hosting a giveaway, so if you enter, you can pick one of the 3 options I made in this video, and whoever wins will have a matching keychain with me. You don't have to like the video or comment or subscribe or anything like that. You don't have to pay for it either. I only ask that you are at least 18 years or older, or have like a parent or legal guardian who can enter on your behalf. You read all the rules, and you live in the US, Canada, or the UK, because I'm not rich. I am actually a college student, so clearly not that many funds on me, and I can't handle international shipping personally, so sorry guys who aren't in these places. One day. I know a decent amount of people like these guys, to the point where there's people asking for more, so I thought it would just be fun to do a little giveaway thing. And also because it gives me an excuse to make more merch of them. But yeah, you can enter up until the 30th of August this year at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time, like your homework. You can enter, just please read all the rules. Please, I'm begging you, read all the rules. But yeah, at the end of the day, I'm very OC brainrotted, and I am now spreading my hyperfixation onto you. Who knows, I might also explain how you can get OC brainrotted over your silly guys at some point. Wink, wink. Anyways, thank you for watching up until this point. If you actually watched through the whole thing, wow, that's awesome. Thank you. I appreciate when people actually sit through the whole video. But yeah, that's it for me. I'm gonna run off and sleep. And I hope you have a great day, night, afternoon, evening. I don't know what time it is for you, but enjoy yourselves. And remember, OC brain rotting is a good thing.